before we start,
Yep.
SAS Rogue Heroes.
Oh yeah.
What bloody show that is! It's when was it out? Like last year. That was one of those little hidden gems that I didn't realise it'd be as good as it was.
We just wrapped season 2.
That's what I wanted to know.
It's gonna be Jack O'Connell just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's gonna be really fun. I can't wait to see. I haven't seen anything yet. I'm actually doing ADR soon, but I can't wait.
I was gonna say, like, we get some more of that because it'd be a crime. You'd be good in a show like that, you know.
Yeah.
With your kind of sort of British charisma, like you're probably a bit too like stacked for it because it's World War II when people weren't supposed to be like.
I can lose
because they were hungry.
You got to connect
with him.
Well,
he can transform his body pretty impressively. I mean, if you haven't seen Rebel Moon, you should because look at this guy.
I'm a lot bigger now, but it's also for a role.
But that's also for a role. Yeah. That's why.
Mate, watching Rebel Moon nearly gave me an eating disorder. Seeing the state of you guys in that, and I was like, God Almighty! I need about 3 years, a lot of beef, no carbs.
Yeah, all of that.
The most depressing part of the film, really, was seeing you like topless all the time.
It was
not inspiring. You didn't spend more time at the gym after.
I suppose, but I've got a kid on the way. Like, Christ, it just made me feel tired. I'll be honest.
No, to be fair, it made me feel tired too. So I'm glad you felt how I was feeling. Yeah. But also a very rewarding process to go ahead and do. But I did then not look at a gym weight for a year. Yeah. I still haven't. You know, I'm just enjoying.
Indeed, yeah, having some snacks.
Yes.
What's interesting about this movie and about like Zack Snyder as a director is you've got all the scale and it's huge and big and explosive, but he has been given kind of free reign creatively, and you can tell on some of the scenes where he's really taken his time with stuff, and I think he's made a conscious effort to bring the cast together as much as possible, which I guess would mean for you guys, whilst it's weeks and months on set, slightly less time just on a green screen soundstage on your own, acting towards tennis balls and stuff.
Yep.
Has that been a big part of the kind of the enjoyment of making a movie like this? You're doing it on a big scale, but you've got the camaraderie around you.
No, like the camaraderie was epic. Yeah. We had it on screen and outside screen, by the way. But like, it was not so much like green screen. Everything we had. I mean, most of what we had was actually practical. Even you see those sandstorm that you see when the ships come down was actually a helicopter coming down. We had like so much practicality. You just had to just be. You didn't have to do much. I think we had just. I remember one scene.
Sharon.
On Sharon.
Sharon with blood
That's
access.
the only.
Is there anyone?
Is there anything else?
No, there's and I think, you know, to further what Sophia's saying, I think it's a real luxury working with Zack and working with, you know, the budget that Netflix very kindly gave us, is that, you know, we were fortunate enough to have a real fourth wall to work with. You know, we weren't restricted to just, as you said, green screen acting, which is an art form in itself. You know, the understanding depth perception when you're looking at a green screen, are you looking at where the green screen is, or you may be looking at 200, 300 yards further? There is an art form to it, but it's really wonderful when you're already doing something as magnanimous as trying to exist in multiple planets at once, that you have the, like Sophia said, the practical kind of stuff to work with. We're very lucky for that.
And a word on Zack. He's probably one of the most kind of polarizing directors in cinema today, which is quite exciting when it's creative, because you're eliciting really strong responses on like both sides of the spectrum. And I guess as a kind of captain of the ship, he helms and holds a lot of that responsibility creatively on his own shoulders. So was there anything inspiring or surprising from your experiences, like working with him on set for these
There's
two
a
movies?
lot that's...
He's excited.
What's the secret sauce, I guess?
I think his secret sauce is enthusiasm. It's something that you cannot buy, you cannot learn. It's something that you have because of he's inspired, and he's able to translate that. I think the biggest present that you can do when you're an inspired person is to inspire others. And to be inspiring yourself, and he's able to communicate that. Not everybody can do that, but he's genuinely, like, he's always doing something. If he's not writing a comic, he's drawing a comic. If he's not drawing a comic, he's like filming something. If he's not filming something, he's
squatting
producing
400
something.
kilograms.
He's at the gym. Like but he's genuinely interested in creating, and I think that's something that, I mean, what does he not do? He's always working on something that is exciting. You know, even around Rebel Moon, he had so many different variations of what he wanted to do with the stories. And you would talk about, like, you would see a small character, like the Collies. He has a whole entire world and story for them, which is fascinating. And that's the character that you see for a tiny bit, but they represent so much. And like, just that level of care is I think he's great to be around, and he, for me, I mean, for all of us, he communicated.
approve this
he
message too.
communicated that, yeah.